yesterday and day before we covered on the subjective objective, so there's no point in continuing on that. We go to the next section where it says how to understand consciousness. Okay, what is consciousness and how to understand? He uses a simile, exactly the same way it would be, but we might not see it. And that's the reason he always uses that fire simile. Whenever he uses, saying that where is Vijnana, then he would say just like the light gone. Okay. So basically he's giving 6 Vijnanas or 6 senses getting attached to the sense object, equivalent to fuel and fire. Fuel as in the garbage and wood and all that, the fire which is coming due to that. In the same way, eye and sight are the fuel, and when it connects, there is some reaction. So if I'm seeing someone, if I'm hearing something, if I'm tasting something, that experience is coming as a subjective because of that fire getting associated with that senses. So as the same example of idli, it is the idli consciousness which comes. So the food which is being eaten is idli, and like that. Okay. If you are eating pasta, then it becomes pasta. Then if you are eating continental food, if you're eating chocolate, you're eating this, that, you'll take eating as a thing more easy than other senses, clarity. So as long as the juha, which is the tongue, and a particular food object can be put together, the fire starts to burn. Okay, this what is called as Bhuta. So he asked this question, Bhuta midanti, in that sutta. Isn't it not the Bhuta? And they reply with the affirmative, yes. Evam bhante. So can you see the Bhuta? Is the question what he is asking. And they all say yes. Now the question I ask you the same. Do you see the Bhuta? So that will show you. Yes, Shanian, go ahead.
Just to clarify, what is your definition of Bhuta?
It's not my definition of Bhuta. It's like what he's saying is that there is a fuel and there's a fire.
Mm-hmm.
The coming of together of fuel and fire is the Bhuta.
Okay.
So he's asking, do you see the Bhuta or not?
Not all the time.
In that sutta. So I'm asking you the same question.
Not all the time.
What's that?
Not all of the time.
No. Now with this explanation of subjectivity and objectivity and all that.
Yep.
So do you now see the Bhuta? Example. This body is called Shanian. And that is Bhuta. So what's the fuel? The food. What's the fire? The consciousness. You have a conscious experience of Shanian. As simple as that. Now do you see the Bhuta? And the answer is yes. You got the point. Didn't get it.
So Bhuta means body and the conscious experience, or Bhuta means Moola Bhuta or whatever is that called?
Bhuta means what has become to be.
Okay, become to be. Okay, understood. So
What
whatever is become is a
what
bhuta.
has happened? Let's say there were no fuel and there were no fire. Can you recognize anything? Let's take another example. If you are not able to understand this, you have a matchbox, you have a matchstick. Matchbox is not fire, matchstick is not fire. Can anybody say there is fire inside this room? Can anybody say there is no fire inside this room? But if you bring the matchbox and the matchstick, the fire starts. Does it mean that the fire was already there in the room and it caught fire? Or does it mean that fire was brought from somewhere? This is a classical question of who is born. Is it the same being or is it a different being? Is it I who is born or is it somebody else who is born? Okay, it answers all of these questions in this sixth consciousness. And that's the reason I was telling on the other day, if somebody is not even a Sotapanna, can never understand anything what is being spoken, no matter how much he tries. So it's a good test to find out Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat, all four. Okay, so let me make it much more simpler than that illustration what is giving there. So let's talk about the illustration. Okay, it's a simile, it's a metaphor. You should take a metaphor as a metaphor. Shouldn't take it to be real. Okay, what's the metaphor he's saying? He's saying, let's take a fire caught up with the wood. What do you say? You call it as wood fire because it's dependent on the wood. In the same way, the fire which has got caught up with the I and the object is called as I consciousness. If there were no I, if there were no side, would there be a fire? Would there be a conscious experience? And the answer is no. In the same way, if there were no wood, would there be a fire? No. If there were grass and a fire, we could call it as grass fire. If there was a twig and a twig were to get caught up with fire, we call it as twig fire. When we say wood or twig or paper or garbage or this or that, that is the fuel. So as long as the fuel exists, so long it will burn. If there is no fuel, then there is no burning. Clear? In the same way, if there is a matchbox, if there is a stick, if you don't rub it, no fire will be there. It doesn't mean that the fire was not there in the matchbox. It doesn't mean the fire was there in the matchstick or it was not there. It just means that the both did not come together to produce a spark and it starts to burn. So that when you light it, a form gets created and that is Bhuta, which has become. So that consciousness is going to stay as long as the fuel is there. That is, when the I and the sight are there, then there is a conscious experience. If there is a removal of the sight, the I sense door closes. No experience till the next one fires up. Any question? Do you understand and hence it is subjective. It is subjective because it is connected with the particular subject, that is eye and the sight, ear and the sound, like that. Able to understand? Yes, Bobby.
Let's see, this consciousness when it connects with the objects, that's what you're calling Buddha. So is it the same Buddha when you say that in the Mulapariya Sutta, like they perceive creatures as creatures. So any animals, any beings come under this because it is the consciousness is getting attached to the particular form, right? Is it?
Bhuta means which has become, creature has become, human has become, animal has become, bird has become, tree has become. Anything that becomes is a Bhuta. Yatha Bhuta means how it has become. If you are able to see what is the reason of it becoming, you would know that you have penetrated into the Dhamma, because the Dhamma consists of two parts. One part is the arising of it, and another part is the departing aspect of it. So when we say it has become, can be anything which becomes. So he's given a very nice example, so to say, in this. Can you please see the fire independent of the fuel? In the same way, if the consciousness is associated with a bird, we call it as bird consciousness. If the consciousness is associated with a dog called Maya, we call it as Maya consciousness. If the consciousness is associated with Bobby, we call it as Bobby's consciousness. Just as a simple analogy to you. But all the three are consciousness. But it seems to be bird consciousness, dog consciousness, and human consciousness. And then what does the consciousness do? It knows. Now, the question comes, what does it know? It knows this is sukha, pleasant. It knows this is dukkha, unpleasant. It knows it is neither pleasant nor non-pleasant. Adukha, asukha. Now, another question. How does it know? Because it knows, and hence it is called vijnana. That's what Buddha says. And to top it, he says that in Khajjaniya Sutta. What does it know? It knows this is sweet. It knows it is salt. It knows this is sour, astringent, or any other taste, non-salty, or whatever it is. It knows.
But it's only for time consciousness, right?
No, there's nothing to do with tongue. He's given an example. Now, if you only keep tongue, then what about the other five? Then there are some.
In this case.
You always remember, he gives only one example to make the point. He doesn't give all 6 examples, and it becomes overwhelming. He gives one perfect example. You need to do that for the remaining. In that Khajjaniya Sutta, that's one consciousness. But what he's giving here is on all the 6.
All the 6, yeah.
As 6 fires.
So, Vilas, in that case, if it is body consciousness, then, body or bird, so what is that particular consciousness? The mind or eye? Or
it's mind.
It's mind, yeah.
Mind create concepts. Yeah. So Bobby is a concept. If you try searching for Bobby, you would never find. You try it out today. Whole day you search where is Bobby and you won't find him. But yet you will have a conscious experience of Bobby.
Yeah, it's mind, yeah.
Yeah. Just like if I call Shaniel and he can't find where is Shaniel, the whole day if he explores, he can't find Shaniel. But he will have every moment Shaniel experience. Okay. And that's what the consciousness is going to do. It has the mind to enjoy. So it plays with the mind. So whenever the name is called, it get associated with that.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah, sure. So these are the six consciousness. If you understand this six consciousness, how it has come to be, how it has become, that is Buddha. Morning, come. Today we have Lata. Maybe.
Hi, Lata.
Hi.
Okay. So basically, first thing, what is Bhuta? Is become. Now that is Bhuta who is sitting in front of me, and there's another Bhuta sitting here. And you all are Bhuta. Why? Because we exist for a particular time. Got the point? And then the body keeps on growing. Now you can ask this question to yourself. Does the body keep on growing, or the body keeps on appearing and disappearing? It's actually appearing and disappearing. It's not growing. There is nothing to grow there. Now we can say, how does the body appear to be? Body appears due to food. Let's take an example. I'll say somebody is fat. Like when I was there in Australia, every weighing scale showed a different story of mine. In Bobby's house, in those 23 days, I gained 4 kgs of almost 5 kgs. Before I left Bangalore, it was 65.2. Now it came to 69.7. I have no idea how did I put so much of weight in, even though I did not have chocolates, even though I did not have ice creams as much I had in US. So don't know. Now just see this. Did I grow? This is subjective. Or did it arise? That's objective. The body arose due to food. If I stop eating, so I used to eat earlier 1 meal a day, so it's becoming thinner. And Lata used to tell me, you're becoming like a skeleton now. And Aryu stopped eating, so he actually had become a skeleton when I met him. Now you can see the body diminished. It ceased. So you don't grow. Either it will, what will happen? It arises and it ceases. So every 4 hours, it arises. As soon as you put the food, each cell will start extracting the food source. So the protein is created and amino acids and so many things which are there. Then it fades out. Now there's time for another round of meal. So objectively, if you see, there is no growth. It's just arising and ceasing. Okay, you can call it as breakfast or lunch or whatever term. And that terming is subjective. It doesn't exist. Does breakfast exist? I can call whatever I want. But there's now a thing called as break the fast. Because the thinking is the previous night you had it too early. So in the morning you're breaking it. It's just a conventional way of saying. But what has really happened is that the body has arose, stayed, departed. So when we wake up in the morning, the body is already departed. When you feed again, a new body comes in this place. it is replenished. And medically speaking, also every 120 days the cells are completely changed. So none of your cells or my cells or anybody's cell is going to be there. They're gone, ceased out of existence. Okay, and that is subjective. So if we see that this is Bhuta, this body is Bhuta. So one Bhuta, two Bhuta, and these many Bhutas sitting in and hearing and tasting and touching and smelling and all that is the Bhuta. Any question on how this Bhuta has come to be? It has become. It has come to be. Any question? Now you can identify that Bhuta and put a label on it and say that this is a particular person. So using that Bhuta, now you can go anywhere. Now it requires one car or some room or something to keep it. Then it will leak out, it will ooze out. So you require something called as a lavatory to make it ooze out from the front and the back. Okay, and it requires washing consistently. So you wash the Bhuta. Clear? And then it vacates. Yes, Ashwin?
It means it is just one stage before the sanya. Or
There is no sanya. If you go objectively, there is no sanya or perception. What will you perceive of a Bhuta? It just come to be.
so it's just before the sanya, correct?
Now, if you call it as perception, again, you already made perception of it.
Okay.
It's like this, has it come? And the answer is yes. Like I take the wood and cut it in some parts and assemble it, and before calling it as a table, some object has come to be. Now the question comes, what do you want to call that as? And then I say that's table. So it would be designated as table, just like I am designated as Vilas. This Bhuta can now be designated as whatever they want. And now it can be called as a husband or a wife or a children or this or that, or you can keep on designating it. So as long as the Bhuta is there, you can designate it. This is before designating, before arriving at anything, just how it has become. Clear? So the next question he asked, if there were no Bhuta, can that not cause confusion? Meaning, for this Bhuta to arrive, something should be there. So what is that something? He says the food has to be there. If there were no food, how can a Bhuta appear? It can't appear out of nowhere. So what's the food? The wood. And what's the Bhuta? The fire. Don't forget it. Just wood as a wood will not catch fire. A fire as fire cannot catch fire unless it has something to catch. So that means consciousness is conditioned. You got the point? Just like the fire cannot light by itself, so also consciousness cannot light by itself without a fuel. Question? Okay, she doesn't have any question. Anyone here? Question? Concern? Understood? Misunderstood? Thoroughly understood? Thoroughly misunderstood? You can tell me. Yes, Pallavi.
Very difficult to understand.
Very good. Now, which part you are not able to understand? Pallavi, you are on mute in case you wanted to say.
Uh, Sir, everything I couldn't comprehend.
Understand. Okay. So then we can't handle it at this point in time. You can give it a try.
Yes, sir.
Like I said earlier, if you are not even a Sotapanna, you will never understand this. And that is a fact. So you have to do something to reach there. And then you will understand. Otherwise, not possible.
Yes, sir. And that awareness of breath, if it is not for 18 hours, then it is not possible.
No, that has got nothing to do with being Sotapanna. It is after Sotapanna.
Okay. And the experience of Panchakhanda and that Prithvi, Apu, Teju, Vayu, then that experience is
Pallavi,
also. Yes, sir.
Pallavi, we'll do one thing. After this, maybe you can give me a call in the evening. We can discuss it out rather than here.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Anybody else having a question on this? So, yes, Saryu.
So I'm wondering if you were asked to give a definition of a Bhuta, can you say it's this Vijnana Samudaya, Namarupa Samudaya?
Don't do any one of that. You're going beyond, you're acting like Visakha, you're going beyond the thing. No, just stick to that. Very simple, forget Vijnana and all that. Just see if there is a fuel, like wood, like a fireplace you have Aryu, and even Shaniel has a fireplace, let's say. You have wood, just keep the wood. Will it light up? Will it do anything? You can keep it forever. Just because the wood is kept in a fireplace, it doesn't catch. It's just a fuel. In the same way, just because you have an eye, you have an ear, you have a nose, you have a tongue, body, and mind, doesn't mean that something should happen there. Just in the fireplace, you bring in some ingredients to that. Let's say for the fireplace, I bring in, along with the firewood, I bring in some twigs, some this, some that. Still doesn't catch fire. Because it's still fuel. In the same way, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts are just the fuel. They are not anything to do with consciousness. But if you bring a fire source, meaning if you take a stick, which is fuel, and you were to rub, that means contact, and then it produces fire. So there is a feeling of heat. Now you take that and put it to the fireplace, and it catches to the wood and paper, whatever you put there. Now you can designate it like this. That which is connected to the wood becomes wood fire, call it as eye. That which is connected to paper becomes paper fire, call it as ear. That which is connected to twig, call it as twig fire, call it as nose. That which is connected with garbage, call it as garbage fire, call it as tongue, like that. But fire is the fire. But you can designate it as eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, like that. And the fire knows how to consume. Will you teach fire? Excuse me, sir, For wood fire, you should consume this way. For the twig fire, you should consume this way. For paper fire, consume this way. Have you ever taught your eyes how to see? Have you taught your ear how to hear? No, it knows the job. Clear? And that is Bhuta. So the moment I'm seeing these many bodies, it's complete Bhuta. How? Eyes are there in the same Bhuta. Ear is there, nose is there, tongue is there, body is there. What is missing in the Bhuta? Question. Or is it becoming too complicated for all of you? That we are not able to move beyond this.
What does that mean? What is missing means in the Buddha? Like what
else is missing?
Consciousness? Sorry.
Then you're dead.
No. When you are seeing all these pictures, that eye consciousness is working, right? Like when you are seeing all this.
No, you're not got it at all. Bobby, you're not got it at all. I'm sorry to say, you're not got it. It's like just the seeing doesn't have conscious experience. Only if you put food, there is a conscious experience. If there is contact, then there is feeling. If there is no contact, there is no feeling. As long as you identify something, you turn it into feeling. Let's say I'm watching Lata here. If I make Lata equals to that behind there is a glass, no experience. If I identify her to be Lata and she's this, she's that, and then the experience starts. What experience? Experience of Lata. Who else? And what would I experience? Yesterday evening we had a meeting. So that experience will come. Because yesterday evening only we had this meeting. So if the meeting went well, I get a pleasant experience. If the meeting didn't go well and she blasted me in the meeting, when I see her, that experience is going to come. Unpleasant feeling. And if we just didn't do anything in particular, it's just a mixed feeling. There's no feeling as such. It's just neutral kind of feeling. There's no feeling. How are you feeling, Lata? And she says, yeah, I'm fine. No, about me. What is there to feel, Vilas, is the next question she's going to ask me. Because she can't feel anything. Then I can't say, Lata, I think you should be feeling. She'll say, why I should be feeling? Now let's say I blasted her yesterday. Instead of she blasting me, I blasted her. So when she sees, she gets an unpleasant feeling because there is a matchbox and the stick and it's lighted up with a conscious experience. So the moment she sees me or the moment I see her, there is an unpleasant feeling. You got the point? Because that contact has already happened. That's what he's trying to say in that sixth consciousness. Okay, so if you don't have contact, there can't be any feeling. That we are going to go next. But before that the Bhuta is that a Bhuta sitting there? And yes, it is indeed a Bhuta because there is a conscious experience that is going to happen. Irrespective is coming from the eyes or the ears or the nose or tongue or body or from the mind. And all the six are there in that body, and all the six are there in this body also. And all the six are there in every person who is sitting there and calling it as a person. So the Bhuta here is transformed into a person or a being, just like you were asking me about bird and animal and all that. It's just the Bhuta. So even in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, he says, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, the same Bhuta is used. It has come to be. That means don't hate any Bhuta. You got the point? Because it's just a consciousness sitting there, eating something, just like 6 things, and it is blazing. It's just blazing. Inferno, so to say, and I'm hating it. What is there to hate? Hate. It's just a light. Did you get clarity, Bobby, or should I revisit it again?
Just before that, when you're asking, I'm seeing all of you and what is missing. And you asked what is missing. So I was just wondering, so you mean mind consciousness or what is missing?
No, what is missing is, can you not see the Bhuta? It has come to be. All the 6 senses are in the same Bhuta. You will not get an eye separated out and coming from somewhere, ear separated out.
Okay. So you're asking what is missing. There is nothing missing. Oh.
There's nothing missing. So when you are walking, when I say Bobby's walking, it's actually no Bobby walking. 6 fires are going like like in the US, you have got tornadoes. Just a tornado going, simple as that. It has all the energy. It will pull out houses, it will pull out the truck, it will pull out the cars, it will pull out whatever. And after a while, it loses energy, and that's it. The Bhuta is gone. You should go to Milwaukee. You can see as many tornadoes as you want. And it's called as tornado chasers. So you can, or storm chasers. You can just, I don't know about in Australia whether they have storm chasers, but in US there are crazy guys who go behind storms. Okay, maybe you should do that, Bobby. Once you go to US and you can go to Milwaukee area, and then you'll find a lot of tornadoes. And on a regular basis, Texas is one state we get maximum tornadoes, so you should, or anybody should do that. Yes, Shinil.
So, Velasty, just to clarify, Bhuta is the collection of these things in this body. There's consciousness,
Including the body.
including the body. Yep. And there's consciousness as well. Obviously, all those 6, but there's no person there. It's just those things.
Yes, it's just come to be.
Just kind of,
Like, Katrina.
Mhm.
In the US, they named one storm called Katrina.
Mhm.
Yep. And, or what was supposed to happen in April, I think there was one storm which was supposed to come, or a cyclone or something like that in Brisbane area, right, and the Sunshine Coast. So let's say somebody had named it, some crazy name. That is how it has come to be. It's Bhuta. And when I and Bobby went to the Sunshine Coast, and then we went to a beach, a lot of froth and other things. And Sajal was saying that it has happened due to hurricane. Okay. And let's say we name the hurricane as so and so. Isn't that the Bhuta? And that's simplest example I can give you. It includes everything. Supposing it had an eye and an ear and a nose and a tongue and a body and its own mind, then we could call it as a human being as opposed to a hurricane by name Katrina or some other thing. Or even in India, they name cyclones by different names. And they say that it came and left. What came and left? What do you mean? Katrina came and she left. She. You see, it becomes a female there. Another Bhuta, you know what it is? Countries. Every country is named as she. Any land becomes female by any chance? Have you heard it? But every country is named as she.
I think here they changed the name once to male and then second to female. to give chance to everyone. There was complaints. It's only ladies. Now it is males and females.
No, I'm going to complain the next time that it should be LGBTQ as well. I can't just testify that male or female. I need all other genders as well. So every country is named like what he's saying. So Bhuta, this year it's a male. So he as Australia, and the next year it is she as Australia, and the next year gay as Australia, and then lesbian as Australia, something like that. That's become. So for that entire year, that country has become he. It has come to be. Got it? But just by putting he in the front or in the back, does it become he? In the same way, just you put a name of Vilas, will it ever become Vilas? It has come to be. It's just come to be. With eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. It has come to be. So the consciousness has now been designated as a person. Till when? Till the fuel is there. What do you mean fuel is there? Boss, till the battery is there. You have a laptop, it survives till the battery is there. If the battery is gone, then you have to put it on charge and the life goes away from that. You have to throw the motherboard. That means it's dead. It's gone. So you can actually take it to the cremation ground and cremate it. Who had a ThinkPad, it couldn't think any longer. At present, I'm having this Lenovo ThinkPad. So couldn't think it. Yes, Reyes.
Does that mean like everything that is subjective is Bhuta?
Yes.
Okay, so basically the objective reality is the actual base reality, and everything that is built on top of that is the Bhuta, which is the subjective reality.
Yes. As long as you have ear, eyes, nose, tongue, and all that, it's Bhuta only.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So when does the Bhuta go to sleep? You know that? Does it go to sleep? It does go to sleep. It's called deep sleep, where the Bhuta becomes smoke. If we covered that in Anthill Sutta. The Anthill is the Bhuta.
Right.
So what does it do? When you go to sleep, the six senses closes. So you don't have any experience. So if you observe, there is no experiencer and there is no experienced. And that removal is objectivity.
Right. Even though the fuel is present, there is no
Everything
experience.
is present. The consciousness is there. The fuel is there. But for some reason, the consciousness doesn't eat up the fuel. So there's no experience.
Got it.
Yeah, Shania.
And so you mentioned deep sleep is like that, and Nirodha Samapatti would be the same.
Exactly the same. And in the deep sleep, it is ignorance. In Nirodha Samapatti, it is knowledge. Why? Because you don't know whether you will go to sleep or not. Say some people have insomnia. They take a sleeping pill. They think they'll go to sleep. But on the contrary, they can't sleep. And sometimes they get into a deep sleep. And when they wake up, they say, I don't know how I went to sleep. That's ignorance. Whereas a meditator is there, he knows when to put the system to sleep or shut down. Okay, so he'll say, he will press, what is that? This start button, shut down. He knows till when it should be shut down. So 4 hours, I want to shut down. He shuts down. And that is Nibbana. For that 4 hours, there is no fuel and there is no fire. And hence it is Paramam Sukham, because it never became anything. Doesn't come to be. Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering in deep sleep, because you said it equivalent to 8 jhana, and that has the subtlest fuel called the I, right? That the subtle I is still there in the deep sleep as a
It is
fuel.
there, just as an analogy. You can't literally switch off during deep sleep. There is a little bit of perception left. You say jhana, it's correct. Because there is perception. How? If your wife or son, like in your case, Luke, you're sleeping with your son and he kicks you, and suddenly you wake up from the sleep, because there is a perception. In Nirodha Samapatti, there is not even a single perception. So if Luke were to hit you, you wouldn't get up. So because there is no conscious experience. Any other question before I continue? Should I wait for some time?
I just have one more thing. So in that state, then that's extinguishment, right? You're extinguished for that period of time.
Yes. Yes, you're completely extinguished.
Mhm.
And that's the reason there's another sutta where a person comes and shouts at the Buddha that you are teaching annihilation. And he says, I don't teach annihilation, I teach extinguishment. And he asks this question, what's the difference between extinguishment and annihilation? Aren't both the same? And Buddha says, annihilation means you're taking what is real as totally absurd and throwing it out. Extinguishment means you're no longer refueling it. So he says, raga is a fuel, dvesha is a fuel, moha is a fuel. As long as you fuel it, the consciousness will start to burn. If you don't have raga, dvesha, moha, and then it ends. Take an example. In Brisbane, I and Marin and Bobby, we had gone to that giant wheel thing. We didn't take a giant wheel as a giant wheel. We went there on a walk where we had a nicest ever ice cream. Okay. And then we went to the 23rd floor or whatever that floor building. And from there, the giant wheel was looking pretty good. Okay. Now, what's the fuel and what's the fire in this? Is what is extinguishment and what is annihilation? Annihilation is that I feel or I believe here that once I get down from that place and move out, that giant wheel is gone forever. That's annihilation. Because I would say, look, when I left it, it's gone. And somebody can say, you're an idiot. I could see it. I say, I don't see it. So what I don't see it, I don't accept to it. Because it's become annihilation. And the other person says, boss, it is still there. In Brisbane, it is there. I say, no. On that day when I left Bobby, there it's matter. Now, what is extinguishment? The giant wheel is there, but no longer a giant wheel at all. That means you don't identify either with raga, with desire, or with dvesha, with aversion, or with moha, which is delusion. And you've seen what the giant wheel is for itself. It's just a collection of things. So there's no giant wheel there. In the same way, if I could see this body as a collection of things, there's no body because the concept. So the fire which was burning is now extinguished. So you get into nirodha, cessation. And samapatti means getting it. Sama means equal. Patti is to come, meaning you have come to an equanimous pose that it extinguishes. That makes sense. So, Bobby, across the Brisbane River, if you remove the Brisbane from the river, what do you get? Or if you remove Maruchi from the river, what do you get?
River?
No, water.
Water. Yeah.
It was beginning water all along. Maruchi is a Aborigine name, not even an English name. At least Brisbane is an English name, but Maruchi is a Aborigine's name. So if you remove the Aborigine name and rename it as Thames River, did the river turn itself into Thames just because it is Queensland? And did the Queen come there to bless that land? And that is fuel. And Queensland is the fire. As long as there is Queensland, there is an experience of Queensland. So Sunshine Coast is where? In Brisbane or in Queensland? And you would say it is in Queensland. But where is the sunshine there? The last time we went, it was raining heavily. So the sun went away. No shining. But yet it is called Sunshine Coast. Where the sun did not shine, at least from the day we went. The 3 days we didn't see sunshine. And only while we were, even while returning to Brisbane, we didn't see sunshine. So, if you remove the sun from the shine coast, will the coast shine? It has got nothing to do with what you say. No shine coast. In the same way, if you go to a beach and remove the beach, what do you get? Can you tell me what you get?
Earth element, earth, sand.
No, you get sand and water.
Okay. What is in the sea? The beach only.
Wait a second. So now Maruchi River, you remove the river and Maruchi from there. What you get is water. From the beginning, it was water. It was not a river. You can name it as a river. The moment you name it as a river, it's an experience of a river. And you again name it as Maruchi. You get Maruchi River. So you start experiencing Maruchi because now you're given fuel to the fire. Fire is the consciousness. Fuel is the Maruchi River. So anybody going on that place will call and experience Maruchi River. So you would say, where are you? I say, I am on Maruchi River. What are you doing there? I am on a boat. Now you get another one called as boat. The experience of boat comes in. So one experience after the other, you start getting it because it's getting connected. The more the connection, the more the experience. So you will now get a good experience or a bad experience or a neutral experience. Like we both went and asked for the boat for 14 people and we wanted to book it. But when we came to that place before or whatever that place was where we were staying, so all of your friends said we don't want to go on a river cruise. So it ended our journey on river. Otherwise, we would have had fun on the river, but we never had. Now, where's the boat? It's just a concept. But did you not experience boat? Yes, we did. We did experience. And we were about to pay, let's say, Bobby, you would have paid advance, how horrible it would have been. Because nobody wanted to take the river ride and then you paid advance, so now you have to convince them to take the boat ride. And they would say, who asked you to pay it? So what experience do you get out of that river? Painful experience. So now you have to fight with them saying that for you only I bought it. They say, when did we tell you that we want to go on a ride on the river? We don't have an answer, but I have paid $100. What to do with that? I don't know. Then they would say, you both go on the river if you want. And we never wanted to go either. We did it for them and they say we don't care. So now we both would have ended up on the river ride. But if you really check back and see, the Maruchi River never existed. Simple. What existed was just water, irrespective what you call that as. So then, did you remove the fuel or did you remove the fire? You removed the fuel, not the fire. You don't have to remove the fire, just remove the fuel. So would you experience Maruchi River? No. Isn't that Nibbana? Yes. No fuel, no fire. Yes, Ariu.
Yeah, so I mean, it's later down the sutta also mentioned elsewhere there are four fuels, right?
I'm going to come to that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why he says those four instead of name as a fuel. Seems like that's the most.
Vijnana is there, no?
Yes.
Have you not read what is Vijnana?
Okay.
It comes on name and form. Don't forget it.
Yeah, that's why my original question, I was thinking Vijnana Namarupa. I was thinking the name is the ultimate fuel.
But nothing called ultimate, there are four fuels. And you guys are not allowing me to move beyond where we are stuck now. So we'll end for today at the same place where we are stuck and take it tomorrow. I did expect that everybody is going to be stuck so knee deep. Yes, Shanil.
So just to clarify, like everything here is really just dhatu arising and passing because of conditions.
Yes.
And that becomes a fuel, but it's when we layer things on top of that, it becomes that subjective experience.
Yes.
And if we're able to not layer those things, then we have the opposite, like the.
I'll give you a simple thing to do.
Yeah.
If you would like to do.
Yes.
Remove that half brick from there.
Yeah.
It becomes empty.
Right.
As long as you read their half brick, you remember your company.
For sure. And if I remove it, it's not there, and then that opportunity for me to remember it won't come up.
It won't come up. It's gone, right? So it didn't mean that that half brick was not there, but you made it experienceable.
Yep.
You can still keep it, just like the Maruchi River.
Yeah.
But don't get associated with Maruchi River.
Yeah.
It's just water flowing. In the same way, half brick, that what you made, is made out of steel.
Yeah.
it's cut it. And that is a language. It's an English language. You put HALF. If somebody doesn't know English, what he would understand of that?
You won't be able to interpret
Yeah.
it.
In front of me is Lata and there is Bobby. They have a language called Malayalam. It looks like, it's going in
Yeah.
circles,
Mhm.
right? If that were to be given to you and you put it there, only Bobby and Lata would have read it. Nobody else would have read it. They would be seeing what it is. Couldn't recognize what it is. So what happens? There is no experience of that. So to that extent, he sees it, not excited about it, just forget all about it. Meaning he doesn't care about it. So the consciousness did not go and land on that food
Yeah. Mhm.
to eat it,
Didn't consume it.
start burning it. But as far as Bobby goes, if it is in Malayalam, he'll start to read it and say, hey, that's not the right thing. I think there is some mistake in that. Because now the fuel and the fire, right? So if you remove half brick from there, the company is gone. Because on that HALFBRICK lands your company.
Yep. I got it.
Yeah, that's all what it is. Just like this body is standing on Vilas, which is just a placeholder. If I start searching for Vilas, where will I find him? Nowhere to be found. I can only say Vilas eyes, Vilas nose, Vilas tongue, Vilas body, Vilas mind. But where is Vilas? Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Even the passport says Vilas, but what are they seeing? They're seeing the dead photograph of some years ago. That's a dead photograph of something, right? And that's not even a Bhuta. That's just a fuel. Now that experience of Vilas is the Bhuta. Now there is an experiencer. It's live. So I would say when I was 10 years ago, 10 years back, excuse me, how did you go 10 years back? Did you carry the body 10 years back? And he would say, yeah, how? Show me. He can't show it because he's doing that in the mind. In the mind, he has become 10 years younger. But the photograph of 10 years back is a still photograph. It's a dead one. But now it is no longer valid. Then he would say, yeah, when I was young. Excuse me. What did you say? When you were young means now he's stuck. The consciousness is now stuck. What do you mean young? Young means when the body was young. Then were you old? Don't ask me these questions because now it is totally confused. What is young? Because it's all said things. So the fuel is burnt up, right? So just like take a matchstick and it starts to burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. So this much remains. So we can call that as a decayed stick or aged stick or whatever we want to call that as. And that's what it is. So we define it and say that, this is aging. But actually what's happening? It's burning. It's burnt. So if I say 53-year-old, it means if it is 100, 53 years has been burned. The fuel is burned for 53 years. And how many more remains? I don't know. That's what the Bhuta is. So we'll end up with Bhuta. And tomorrow we come up and see what else we can find. Okay. Good day. Good
Thank you.
night.
Yeah.
Bye.
One second.
Thank you, sir.